The Insta360 is one of the best action cameras I've ever tested. Now, a couple weeks ago, I pulled the curtain back on the Ace Pro to set the stage on why I believe this to be the case. So, in today's video, I'm going to go into or take a deeper dive into some of my favorite features about this camera. Now, I'll also identify a few things that I don't like so much about this camera. That way, you have a more kind of complete picture of what to expect. But before we get to the brass tacks, let me take a moment and thank you so much for watching this video. I know there's certainly no shortage of content on YouTube relating to this particular camera, so I really appreciate you selecting this video to watch with your precious time. I hope you find a lot of value with it. And while you're watching this, if you have any comments about the camera or questions in general, feel free to leave them below. And actually, speaking of which, during the last video, I had a really interesting conversation with a pretty cool dude regarding this camera. And look, as I was prepping for this video, I was reflecting on a few of the comments that he had made. Another sponsored review, a pinned affiliate link. YouTube has a serious problem with bot reviews. You do you, big fella. And while I did disclose these items in the last video, these comments really made me realize that perhaps I need to do a better job of clarifying why I do these reviews. While Insta360 gave me this camera to review, friend, this is not a sponsored review, nor is it a bot review. They do not control what I say about this camera. If I tested this thing in the Ace Pro and happened to find that this thing was a pile of you-know-what, that's exactly what I would tell you guys because I am loyal to you, not a certain product or brand. And kind of think of it this way. I've been using GoPros for well over a decade. It's a fantastic camera. I love the company, but I want to present to you the best information possible. So that's why I'm doing a review on the Ace Pro, a direct competitor of GoPro. I'm just simply presenting my opinions about gear so you can do you and determine what gear is right for you and what gear is not right for you. Now, are there a lot of bot reviews on YouTube?
Absolutely.
I completely agree with you on that point. But friend, this is not one of them. Now, if you decide the Ace Pro is something that you do want to buy, I do have Amazon links down in the description below so you can get one. Now, do I get a small kickback from that? Heck yeah, I do. You bet I do. And while you're down there, if you happen to buy some diapers or some dog foods, friend, I'm going to earn a few cents on that as well. I mean, seriously though, Amazon is also a great place to shop because it's fast, it's easy, it's convenient, and you get the advantage of a 30-day return policy with a full refund. What's not to like about that? So if you watch a video that some YouTuber tells you that a camera is so awesome, or dog food or whatever the heck it is, and then you buy it off of Amazon and it doesn't meet your expectations, or there are some things about it that you don't like, which I think I just said the same thing. It's nice to have that peace of mind that Amazon has that return policy that they do. So with that out of the way, let's dive into 5 things that I like about the Insta360 Ace Pro, and I'm going to share with you a few things that I don't like about it. First up is the clarity zoom feature. Now, I cannot emphasize enough how good the zoom is on this camera. Now, remember, the Ace Pro, this thing has a big new 1/1.3-inch sensor that is 8K compatible. So this means that when you want to zoom in on something, you can do so without any loss of quality. And, well, if it wasn't good enough, zooming in is really easy. So all you have to do is either tap on the zoom icon, which is the one with the 2 little arrow or on the bottom here, that thing, and boom, it zooms in for you. Now I'm going to zoom back out here because the other way that you can zoom in is you're going to double tap on the big old screen here on the back of the Ace Pro's touchscreen, and voila, the camera will zoom in 2 times for you. Now, additionally, the clarity zoom feature can be used while also recording, so there's no need to stop, zoom in, start recording again, and so forth. It is all a very seamless operation with fantastic results. Now, over the last month and a half of testing this camera, the record pause feature has quickly become one of my favorites. Now, this feature is exactly what it sounds like. You can pause video recording at any time. Better still, you can resume recording in the same file. So rather than having to sort through a million different files at the end of the day of shooting, you can come home with just a handful of files. Now, this is much easier and much more organized way of shooting video. Okay, so here's how this works. When you're recording, just simply tap on the red button down on the bottom, As you can see, it's going to pop up a screen here telling you recording pause. Tap the button below or press the shutter button to continue recording. It's telling you exactly what you need to do to continue on. So either A, you can tap that button again and it's going to continue recording. Again, the shutter button up on the top acts as a pause. So again, we can hit that and it's going to pause it. We can hit this again, it's going to unpause it. So it is that simple. Now, when you're ready to save the file, you're going to tap on the red button. See this one right down here in the lower right hand corner? You're going to tap this to save the file. And as you can see there, it's processing file. It's going to save it, the footage, to the camera's album.
But wait! There's more!
Let's say you pause the video recording and then you turn off the camera. Now you can resume recording on the same file the next time that you turn on the camera. All you have to do is just simply tap the record or pause button as normal and you're good to go. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to press the record button. We're now recording. I'm going to let it record for a couple minutes here, or a couple seconds. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to shut the camera off right now. Oops. All right, we're going to give it a minute to shut down here, and I'm going to crank it back on. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, you're greeted with a recording pause. Tap the button below or press the shutter button to continue recording. So as we've seen the screen before, now we're off to the races and we're recording where we had left off. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to save it to file. So now, what if you want to resume recording on a file that's already in an album? Simply just swipe to the right here. As you're going to open up the file, we're going to hit the button down below, and it's going to prompt us, continue recording. New recording starts at the end of the current clip. We're going to hit continue. We're going to see our familiar recording pause screen. We're going to hit the pause button, or we could have hit up here, and now we are recording where that file left off. Not bad, right? Now, hands down, one of my favorite features about this camera is this flip-up screen that you just saw me go flipping up there. This thing is absolutely monstrous for a action camera. It's 2.4 inches across. It's a touchscreen, so this is a huge benefit for me since I do a lot of solo video work. I just flip up the screen as you just saw there, and I can quickly, easily glance over at this while I'm recording to make sure that I'm in frame. Shooting in selfie mode is the most frequent use I have for this screen, but it's also handy for awkward shooting situations like getting low-angled shots.
I'm 50!
After all, so the less I have to bend, stoop down, or squat, the better. Now, aside from its functional purposes, the screen is also really easy to use. It's big, bright, clear, and super sharp as well. All the features that people at advanced age like me really appreciate. The gesture controls are also quick and accurate, although, and to be quite frank, I've only used them a few times, and I can just confirm it's not really my thing, but I can confirm that they do work as you would expect. The last thing that you want to do when using an action camera is have to get your, oh yeah, here we go, your cheater glasses to be able to read what is on the screen. I mean, after all, the more time that you're messing around trying to work on the camera, it means the less time that you're actually recording cool stuff that you're doing. Now, I touched on the pure video mode in my last video, but it is so impressive that it's worth a deeper dive this go around. Now, at the heart of the pure video mode is a new 5nm chip inside the Ace Pro. It's super small and it's super big at the same time. I think that works. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, baby!
Now, the chip allows the camera to do frame-by-frame noise reduction before video encoding. So as a result of this, you get absolutely incredible detail in low-light photos and videos. Now, you can use pure video mode in auto or manual modes too. Now, in auto mode, the camera is going to control things like low-light stabilization, white balance, and exposure values. And if you want to take manual control, though, you can adjust the shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and exposure value. Now, I typically leave the Ace Pro in auto mode because it really does a fantastic job. I do a lot of work in the sticks with dim lighting, and that being the case, letting the Ace Pro handle things without additional input from me really works well. Now, going back to the You do you, big fellow comment from earlier. This feature allows me to do what I need to do to get the footage in challenge situations. Now, last but not least, the Ace Pro ecosystem of mounts is a fantastic bonus, especially if you're like me and you need to be able to use the camera in all sorts of different environments. On one hand, the magnetic system makes it so easy to swap between different mounts. And again, I want to clarify because I think there's been a little bit of misconception in the market or the vernacular that's being used amongst people out there. The system is not held on here by magnets. The magnets just simply guide these little hook things into place there. But anyways, I can start with a standard 2-prong mount, attach it to a suction cup, then quickly remove both and switch to a vertical horizontal mount, and then swap that out later for a multi-mount, which actually is this thing right here, which is actually a tripod, selfie stick, and a magic arm all in one. Now, on the other hand, I can use the Ace Pro with my Octopad and other non-Insta360 accessories to get the precise shots that I want. And actually, speaking of which, so here is my Octopad. You can see I have one of the Insta360 little extension rods here. I have this here mount from them. I simply get out the location, pop these little things off the magnetic mount, pop it into here, and you gotta love this thing. But while the Ace Pro is exceptionally impressive, it is not perfect. Now, there are a few things that I'm not in love with this camera. Now, the first item on my do not like list here is this here mount. And I know I just pointed to it a moment ago, but this mount, there's a reason why this mount is on this here and not on this. Using this mount on here, you get this, let's see if this picks it up. It wobbles. So when you're walking around and if you're using the mic that's on that, it's moving around and you get these clicking noises that when you jump into post later on, you realize, oh, damn, that is a audio nightmare. So I don't like this mount right here. This is not their stock mount. This is their aftermarket, one of their accessory mounts here that you can incidentally use for one of the cold shoes, which actually we're going to talk about cold shoes here in a moment. But the other next item on here that I don't care about here is this hinge right here. And I say this from a high level view because a lot of, especially during the summertime where I do a lot of my shooting and so forth, is out in the desert. Now, sand obviously is going to be a nightmare to anything. And you get sand gets into cracks. And this right here, I have concerns that the sand is going to be a nightmare with this hinge. So that's another thing. Now, one of the things is there's no cold shoe on this camera. Now, granted, you can, let me take this thing off here. You can use, this is that clip that I was talking about there, and they sell, here we go, this little piece right here that pops into it. It kind of slides in the bottom. If I can get it in there. There you go. And so that, there you go. So that mounts right into there. You can see now you have the cold shoe. But here's my 2 cents on this here. They sell this as an additional accessory. That's the other mount there that I tell you that I don't like. Look at the battery door on this here. Tell me, I don't understand why Insta360 doesn't just put that little cold shoe right on the side. Therefore, it's not going to take up much real estate on the side of the camera. Bam, look at that. That would be so darn slick right there. Or they can sell the doors as separate rather than selling this thing. And it is, then they can still, the consumer can use this grip or this clip right there, which doesn't shake at all. That's, the cold shoe is, that's a big one for me. I wish it had it right there. And what's funny is, again, over the last 6 weeks, I've been really, how I use this camera, of course, I'm looking for things I like. I'm looking for things that I don't like. So therefore, I can share those things with you folks. And what's funny is the last weekend, so again, I use this because I love it for the low light capability. That pure video mode, is an absolute rock star. So, true story, last weekend, I was up in, 2 weekends ago, I was up in Big Bear filming a video for my other company. And one of the scenes there is I am going to bed, and the last thing that I'm showing on video that's moving around inside the tent is the wood stove, the fire inside the wood stove. And so I had set up the camera to look at, because the side of the wood stove has a a glass on one side and it has the, kind of, you can see the fire on the front of it. So I'm trying to get the camera to shoot this, but you get the stupid, well, actually it's not stupid. You have this light on the front, which otherwise you absolutely love it because you know that you're recording yourself. But when you're trying to shoot something dark, I'm getting this blue and red light on the front of the reflecting off of the wood stove there. I looked in here and I didn't see it and I didn't look hard enough. But anyway, so that was going to be one of my cons, is that you have this light that you can't shut off. Well, as I'm prepping for this video here, a quick search into the menu and voila, it's one of the things just kicking you in the face. As soon as you open up the menu on the back of this thing, you can easily shut that light on and off. So I'm going to throw myself underneath the bus. So with that said, you have some deeper insights on the hits and misses of the Insta360 Ace Pro. By and large, it's a fantastic camera that benefits from some absolutely incredible technology. So it's certainly been a nice addition to my kit, and it will probably be a nice addition to your kit as well. But going back to the viewer's comment about you do you, big fella, well, you also have to do you, and that's why I'm making this video, to give you information of what you need to do to make an informed decision. If it's buying an Insta360 Ace Pro, hey, good for you. Awesome. If you decide that this is not the camera for you, then hey, mission accomplished. Again, when you're going out there, when you're watching videos like this, my friend, think about how you're going to use the camera. Then watch the reviews, and if the viewer is using the camera how you would use it, it's going to give you a good indication as far as, hey, will you probably like it? Will you probably not like it? So again, that's what I'm saying here. The user that I was talking about, you do you, man, it really applies to each and every one of us when we're thinking about getting another piece of equipment. You think about how you're going to use that piece of equipment. Go out there, try to find reviews that align with that use case that you're going to put it through, and rock it from there. But friends, that is all I have. So until next time, you get out there and take your best shot.